you ready to boost your confidence when selling so you're able to close more deals? Nikki Rausch will show you how to build a foundation of skills and a mindset that creates sales success without feeling pushy or salesy and without fear of rejection. She is a sales strategist and coach with more than 25 years of sales experience and is master certified in neuro-linguistic programming. This is a radically different approach to selling. It's a no sleaze, no slime, and no stress approach to building your business. This is Sales Maven. Here's Nikki.
Welcome, and thank you for listening to the Sales Maven Show. I'm your host, Nikki Rausch. I'm your own personal sales maven here to offer you tips, techniques, and strategies to master your sales conversations. Today's episode is an on-air coaching call with one of our Sales Maven Society members, relatively new Society member, as a matter of fact. Lisa Lish is with us today. Lisa, welcome to the show, friend.
Oh, Nikki, thank you so much. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Well, I am so thrilled to dig in. Tell everybody a little bit about you and about your business.
Thank you. I am Lisa Lish. I live in Houston, Texas. I'm married. I am very happy to be a Houstonian. I love it here. I love the warm weather and all of the great restaurants and sports. And my business is Lish Consulting. And right now I am really focusing on building a community. My ideal clients are mid-career professional and executive women who are feeling not the same energy and enthusiasm that they once had for their careers and their mission in life. They maybe at one time they were really motivated and inspired by what they were doing, but now they're looking for more. And what I've found is that so many mid-career professional and executive women working in corporations they're just burned out. They've had it with the hierarchical structure, the very macho culture, the lack of opportunities for creativity and community within those environments. And they're looking for opportunities to work, to meet other women, to build relationships, to mentor others, and to be more innovative, independent, and creative. And they're looking to really find out who they are and to get inspired again. So I coach a lot of women one-on-one, and I am making plans now to build an online community where more women can connect and talk about these issues and support each other in building the next chapter of their lives.
I am so excited to hear this because I will say in my world in corporate, when I was in corporate America, there was only less than a year in the last 10 years of my career there where I had another female on the team with me. The rest of the time, I was the only female salesperson on a sales team of men. And there was no place for feminine energy, for the feminine. Now you have a term that I think is yours, feminine emergence. Is that right?
Feminine emergence. That's right. Yeah. And I have trademarked that term.
It's such a great term. Tell us what does that mean to you, feminine emergence?
Feminine emergence is a process. Thank you, Nikki. The feminine emergence is a process. It's also the title of my book, which is an Amazon.com bestseller, and that I released about 2 years ago. And it is about making profound shifts in corporate and personal life through really embracing the balance of masculine and feminine energy in ourselves, in our teams, in our corporations, and in our communities. We really need that balance. And, what I've found in coaching over 1,000 people in my career, and I'd spent over 25 years in corporate environments myself. And what I've found is, we have women in the workplace but we don't really have women in the workplace because we hire women and then we train them, coach them, and mentor them to act, dress, and perform like men in a traditional macho style,
Yes.
where we're very focused on competition and data and being strong and being just being very strong and tenacious and, like I said, competitive, and instead of collaborative and building relationships and paying attention to our intuition and our feelings and our sense of, that what our gut is telling us, and, building allyship and, looking at what is possible for the greater good, and where businesses have an opportunity to grow above and beyond where they are today is in balancing that energy and bringing that feminine energy and letting the feminine energy emerge from men and women through our teams, through our corporate cultures, and expanding all of the possibilities that we have in our corporations by just expanding the skills that leaders and individuals have in our organizations today, instead of shutting that down. Yes. I hear from so many people that we shut that down and we limit it, and
it's true,
instead of allowing it. Is that, you see that too?
Now, I haven't been in corporate for a while now. So I left my last corporate position at the end of 2011. So it's been a few years since I've been in a corporate, professional sales position. But yeah, that's absolutely the case. There was no real room for that feminine energy. And, the team that I had the most success with as a salesperson, I was their top producing rep, but there was a lot of talk. It was always like, because I would have questions. They'd be like, Nikki, stop asking questions. We just want to get to the bar and have beers. And I'm like, yeah, but how is this going to impact our clients? And do we need to talk about the communication of it? And they would get so frustrated with me for wanting to kind of show up from this place of collaboration. And I remember oftentimes feeling very frustrated that there was no place for that in my corporate world. And so when I left the corporate world and started hanging out at women's networking groups, I was like, oh my goodness, look at the power in this room of collaboration. Look at the power of these women that are bringing forth this energy really that felt very, very different than what I was used to. It wasn't that competitive, like we're all trying to step on each other to get ahead. It was very much like, hey, what can we do together? How can I support you? I just loved it, which is why still to this day, I love working with women. Yes, so I love that you love working with women and that you're helping to bring this forward.
I do. And, so many of my clients, I have clients in their, 30s and 40s who are in, director level roles in global corporations who are still experiencing the same thing. They're feeling isolated. They're feeling, let's just get the task list done and then go. And they're not looking at the broader picture, the contextual picture of, if we do make this action, how is that going to affect our customers, our suppliers, our, the different parts of our business, and that is what so many men and women can bring to the table, but shut down because it's not accepted and it's not valued in our corporate environment. It's not valued in our communities. It's not valued in, I talk with people who work in churches, education, hospitals, and hospital administration. And we have this issue everywhere. The masculine energy is valued more highly than the feminine, nurturing, collaborative, more contextual energy or focus. And what we need to really take all of our organizations to the next level is balance and integration. And I'm so glad that we're talking about this during Pride Month.
That's right.
Because I really think Pride Month is about just embracing all the energy, that we have in our society and not shutting that down. So just embracing all of who everyone is. So we have so many opportunities for individuals, and that's what feminine emergence is about. Letting all of that energy come forth. And I tell the women that I talk to, if you're tired and burned out, it's because you have reservoirs of energy you're not tapping into. Maybe.
That's powerful. You have reservoirs of energy that you haven't tapped into.
Absolutely. It's all there, but maybe we've learned to devalue it ourselves.
So you're helping them access that reservoir. You're teaching or showing women how to tap that energy and really use it for the greater good. Is that right?
Yes, for themselves and the greater good. And one of my current clients, I'm working with her for 3 months. And after about 3 weeks, she said to me, Lisa, I'm so much more at peace. She said, I have clarity. I have more peace. I have more energy. My stress is down. And it's because she's tapping into her emotions, her intuition, her creativity. And these are our guidance systems, Nikki. These are our guidance systems that energize us, that when we devalue them, it's like cutting off an arm or a leg.
Yeah. This reminds me, years ago, now I can't think of the name of it. There was a NLP process that the NLP teacher that I studied under and then ended up assisting for many years. It was all about alignment. And so there was this, it was like a 2-day workshop that she would put on, and men and women would come from really all over, would come to take this workshop from her. And it was a very personal experience for each person. Most of it wasn't even talked out loud. It was internal work that people were doing. And she would bring somebody up who volunteered in the front of the room, and she would work this process with them publicly in front of the group. So then the group could go and do this process on their own. And it was so interesting that when we got down to the core of what really allowed for somebody to feel aligned with themselves were often some of the things that you just mentioned. Peace. That was the ultimate goal. Freedom was another thing that used to come up over and over again with people. It was like peace and freedom and clarity, like these things that you're talking about. So this really resonates with me of like, this is what we all are craving. And oftentimes, I think in the world that we live in today, it can be easy to lose sight and maybe not even know that is what your whole being is crying out for. And until you tap that, you are going to feel depleted.
Yes, absolutely. And my selling signals.
You're buying signals. Yeah. Okay.
Are when women talk to me and they say, I'm miserable. I have no energy, but I don't know what I want. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I know that they are so removed from them, the core, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
They're so disengaged from their core. They've devalued the intuition, the emotions, their feelings, their inner voice, that they're not guided anymore. They've disconnected, and I help them reconnect.
What powerful work. I love this. Okay.
It is. It's super powerful.
Super powerful.
It is. And I'm honored and blessed. I like so many people, I've been on a rough journey. I talk about it in my book.
Yeah.
Everything I'm talking about, I've lived, studied, learned over and over again.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm a slow learner.
Well, sometimes I feel like we have to learn our lessons in increments, yes. Right?
And I always tell people I am in recovery. I am in recovery from being a feminine energy denier. My name is Lisa Lish. I am in recovery from me, and we're all in this together. We're all in this together. I have been a feminine energy denier, and I am currently in recovery. And so everything I treat myself while I am also helping others.
Awesome.
And
I love a person who walks. Yeah. Anybody who walks their talk, I love, coming from a place of credibility. There's such congruence in that. So I love it. I love that you talk about being in recovery from being a denier. So fun. All right. Well, this is really an on-air coaching call for you. So I want to ask, how can I serve you today? What would be useful for you right now as you're growing your business?
Thank you. So I am starting to conceptualize an online community.
Okay.
Because as you and I talked about, and you mentioned, so many of the women that I work with feel isolated.
Yes.
And they talk about that over and over again. They work 10, 12 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week. They're the only woman. Even if there's another woman, they don't know if they can trust that woman, to what extent they can trust that woman. Yes. So I have, I engage women and some wonderful men through my Elemental Energies quiz, which is on my website. So that's their first step. And I've had about 260 women take that quiz and get their report. So I'm conceptualizing a membership, online community for them. Okay. And I'm starting to think about what that would look like, monthly, what the offerings would be. And I love your membership. I think your membership is a gold standard for what my vision is, the community, the offerings, the support. So what advice can you give me? What lessons have you learned for starting?
Okay. So for starting, my suggestion is to, usually with a membership, there has to be I guess it doesn't have to be. It depends on where you're going to host your membership, but you probably want some piece of content. Right. Yes. So it could be, and that piece of content, frankly, Lisa, could be your book in audio form, right? Oh. Or it could be a course that you have, or some mini trainings that you might give, or a process or a structure, right? So you record that and you host it in some type of a membership platform. It could be, some people host these on WordPress sites. I use MemberVault. I know tons of people that use Kajabi. There's Mighty Networks. There's other places where you can host your membership. So you want to have some type of content that brings people in. And I have found that over and over again, people often come for the content, but they stay for the community. Yeah. So what you really want to do is think about building your community, and the culture of your community, I think, needs to be a big, big part of your planning phase. Now, what you think your membership will be, make sure you give yourself permission to know that it's going to evolve. It will change. What you think it's going to be today, it'll probably look very different a year or 2 or 3 or 5 down the road. And that's okay. Everything in life, just like us, we're all evolving, right? Yeah. Your community will evolve too. But my first suggestion would be to decide what you want the community piece to be. So how do you want your community to engage with each other, not just with you, although you should decide that too. How do you want them to to engage with you? How do you want them to engage with each other? And what types of tools can you then put in place to make it really easy for them to do that?
Right.
So whether it's a private Facebook group or whether it's some other type of platform where there's a way for them to engage. I have committed to keeping mine as a Facebook group, as that being the piece for the community to engage. And the reason why is because I don't want to have to change behavior. Like, that's not what I want. I don't want to have to convince people, like, go to this other, platform and use this other platform that you've never used before, or, be in forums. Although I know tons of people that have successful communities that have forums, but think about that. Like, how do your people typically engage? Right. And can you create a platform that they're used to using in some way that allows for them to engage? And maybe for you, it could be, I haven't done this in a while, but it could be a private LinkedIn group because you're dealing with corporate.
Yes.
People,
yes.
Right?
I like that. Yes.
Now, some of these platforms do have rules. So you do have to that can't be like, you can't just charge for that. Right. So I'm assuming you want to charge for this.
Yes,
community.
I do. Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes,
I want you to
yes,
as well.
ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So there needs to be some other piece that's outside of that platform. Also, because if that platform was to go away or if they shut down your group or whatever, you still need to have some way for your community to evolve and engage, and you would go get a different platform or whatever. So for you, it could be that it's a private LinkedIn group for them to go and share and then decide how are you going to allow them to share. I know some people don't allow people to post, like only you post and then they can engage on that and comment on it. But like in my community, I allow my members to post. I want them to post. I want them to engage each other and me when they have questions. So that might be that platform for you. I always recommend launching a membership with a beta round.
Okay.
And when I say a beta round, don't make the mistake that I made. Don't tell people they're beta. Call them founding members. I think I talked about this on another episode with Tracy Warren because we talked about community for her as well. I love the idea of doing a founding member launch. This is where you hand pick between 10 and 20 people that you would love to have in the community. Yeah. And you make them a really, really attractive offer, like such an attractive offer that they're going to say yes, right? They'll be crazy to say no because they're going to be your founding members. Yeah. And they're going to help you shape your community. Yeah. Now, when I do that, when I did mine, I launched a beta round and then I launched a second beta round. Because I launched it, we played with it for a month, we did some things, I tweaked some things, then I did another launch the next month. And you don't have to do it month after month. It could be month for, you could have the beta round. Your first beta could go for a month or 2 or 3, right? Yeah. And you figure out, what do I like? What do I not like? What do I need to tweak? Do I want to put more content on? Do I want to take content away? Do I want to reorganize the content in a way that makes more sense for people? Like, there's all kinds of things that you could do. And then you could do the second beta round and you do that for however long you want. And then you launch it out to your broader list, your network. Right. Nice. And start inviting people in. And then it becomes all about growth. It's all about figuring out who are my ideal people, making sure that your messaging is on point to target the ideal people, and issuing invitations for people to come in and giving them a way to, I think, dip their toe in the water and kind of test it out as well is always a good idea. Yeah. I feel like I just kind of downloaded a bunch of stuff. So tell me what questions come to mind for you now.
I love it. I'm so excited.
Good.
Yeah, I really love it. I had not been thinking about the beta, and that's so smart, and not telling them that it's a beta.
Yeah, call them founding members.
Yes, founding members. And my head's like the wheels are really turning about who I would want to pick and what that first, month or so would look like. And so I'm real excited about that. Yeah. I am in WordPress and I use Access Ally. And so I don't know if you're familiar with that, but
I don't know Access Ally.
Right. It is set up for membership and courses, and I have content in there. I've sold some courses. They're large courses, and I think I'm thinking about splitting them up into smaller courses. I like how you always say bite-sized pieces, but and I like that. And so each month, have you found a kind of a standard that you like to release each month? I know you have some live sessions with your group, and then there's always some content. And what seems to be kind of what do you think is a good standard amount to put out each month?
Well, when I very first started, I dripped content. And what I mean by dripped is like, this would be this fundamental course would be this month's course. So how to create curiosity, there's a whole course on that. So that would get dripped in, month 1 or 2 or 3, however I had it organized. And then the next month there would be, emails that convert. And that content would get dripped out, and it would open the lessons, within the course would open like, 1 or 2 a week. And so by the end of the month, they were all open. And I found that didn't work for me, and not for me, frankly. It didn't work for clients, because I was finding all the time, I was like, oh, the course you need is around networking, and that comes in month 10, but they needed it today. So I ended up just pulling off that drip and just opening up content. And now it's open. When people come in, they can access as little or as much as they want, when they need it, when they want it. And that worked for my community. So you could test this the way that you want to test it. And again, we're always evolving. As a matter of fact, there's going to be some changes coming in the Sales Maven Society in the next month or 2 as well. Not necessarily around the content piece, but there's, we have some ideas that we're going to pull into the group. And really, it's just, again, about doing everything that I can do, possibly that I have control over, to deepen the learning for people on selling skills. So that's kind of one of my core things, is I want people to learn the skills that I teach, so that they become their skills, and they're not even necessarily like, oh, I know this because Nikki taught it. It's like, no, I know this because this is how I show up in conversation. That's my ultimate goal with everybody in my group, is I want them to just go, I confidently sell. I've always been good at it. Even if a year ago they were like, I don't think I can sell anything, right? Like, I want them to be so confident when it comes to selling. I love it. So we do things constantly that are trying to reinforce and deepen the level of learning. With you, you may find that the content isn't as relevant as it is a place for them to come and speak about their frustrations and speak about what they want for themselves, and teaching them how to tap in to that reservoir that they have. I will say, I wish I had known this earlier on, is I do create these bite-sized, so I break all of the trainings down into these like bite-sized pieces. I wish I had broken a few of them down even to smaller chunks. I find that if I have a video training inside the community per topic that is more than about 7 minutes, people are like, I just don't have time to watch that, Nikki. So I do try to keep trainings like realistically 10 minutes or less per topic. Now, the full module of training might be an hour. So there could be 10 modules or 10 units inside that module. But I find that for the pre-recorded stuff, if I can break it down into smaller bite-sized pieces, it's more palatable for somebody to take in. So that would be another.
I'm finding that too. And I'm just hearing over and over again, people have no time and no attention span.
Yeah.
and my videos, I have 2 courses that I've offered, and one is on mindset and one is on elemental energy, and really taking a deep dive into their quiz results. And awesome. Thank you. And those are, and my longest videos are 7 minutes, but there are videos that are 2 and 3 minutes. And I am getting feedback that they're really good. People like them, but they're long, that the 7 minutes is too long.
The 7 minutes are long.
They're too, they are long. And maybe you break them into 2, right? So if you have these 7-minute videos, could you then break them into 2? So now they're 3.5, or maybe one's 3 and one's 4, or whatever. One's 2 and one's 5. Break them up if you can. I find that people they'll go through the training more if they're in smaller bite-sized pieces. Yes.
If you can break it down. And then think about with each lesson, with each unit, however you quantify them, that there is something that somebody can go and implement or spend some time, internally processing and encourage them to do that. Giving people some actions or some checklists or some things for them to go, here are the 3 steps, now go implement, I think also improves their success. So think about, could you do that? Especially when you're dealing with mindset stuff, like, could you help them have a morning routine, or could you help them develop their own, and then encourage them to share their routine or whatever inside the group, and let people, celebrate wins, and for the people who accomplish whatever it is that you encourage them to do.
I love that. That is such a great idea. And I'm all about celebrating the wins. I love that, because I was thinking too, what are some good ideas about, around keeping people engaged? And I love that, sharing what they've done. And I agree with you that, my community is going to really be about being able to share and connect, because what I hear in my coaching sessions is how much women feel isolated, and they feel, this is what I'm experiencing, and surely I'm the only one experiencing this. And they're not. They're not. There are patterns.
Yes. So give them opportunities also. One of the things that I do in the group is I do these live calls where people can ask questions, and I coach, right? Like I'm actually giving advice, or I'm coaching through those sessions. Now, I could just do that privately with people, but I do it in a group setting, because I find that oftentimes people who are sitting on the sideline listening to me coach, just like I do this on the podcast too, is it gives people an opportunity to go, how would I do that? How would I apply that to my own life? Or like, oh, I just got this idea. And it kind of takes some pressure off, like versus the person that's sitting sometimes people refer to it as like the hot seat. It takes some pressure off. So give opportunities also for people to learn by being the observer in the conversation.
I love that. That's brilliant. You're brilliant, Nikki. I love it. I love these ideas. I love it. And I just, through community, there's so much empowerment, and people get energized around moving forward and taking action. And we continue to have issues in organizations, and one part of my mission is encouraging women, empowering women to speak up, take action, and men too, when they see something wrong. And I'm so excited about this. This is really going to help me and a lot of people. I'm so excited. Yeah. I love the idea of coaching and including a group.
Yeah.
Love that.
You'll find it super powerful. It was something I'd been doing in my group off and on over the years that I've had the membership. And so when I decided to start the podcast, this is actually why I brought in this on-air coaching call as well, is because it lets the listener be the observer in the room. And it gives people an opportunity in time and space to think, how would this apply to me? And also, people often will anticipate, I think Nikki's going to say this. So when I do say whatever it is they're anticipating, it reaffirms that they know what I know. And then
Yeah.
sometimes if I say something that is a little bit different than what they're anticipating, it allows for them to go, oh, I hadn't thought of it that way. So then there's some new learning that happens too. So all of that is a really powerful way to give people a taste of your work and help them feel connected to you in a different way because of it.
Beautiful. I love it. What great advice. I love it. I'm super excited.
Good.
I am. I'm super excited. It's great. That's how we adults learn too, right? Number one, by doing, which is great advice, to let people take something and go and experience it. But then also during these group sessions, when someone's listening and they think, oh, she's going to say this, and then maybe it's a little different, they can, create those mental maps, and that's how they learn and grow themselves, just by watching the dynamic. I love it. You're brilliant. Thank you so much.
You're so sweet. Well, I'm so excited that you said yes to being here. So as we wrap up today, I always like to end with 2 questions for you. First is, what's one benefit you've received from being in the Sales Maven Society so far?
Okay, it's hard to pick just one. It really is, because one is the community. Well, it's hard to pick one. I've learned so much about sales, and we all need that. Anyone who's an entrepreneur needs to learn about sales. And I've built my confidence, and I've learned to really listen and to learn for those signals, and I've built my confidence. But I think the community, the support, hearing from a variety of different people and learning from others' experiences and leveraging that has been so powerful. And I haven't been in very long. Like you said, I'm a new member. And so the benefits come quickly and they're powerful. So I encourage anyone who's listening, if you've thought about it at all, join. It is a wonderful community. Nikki, you're wonderful. You're a blessing. Thank you so much. I'm so glad I did this. I should have done it a long time ago. I should have joined a long time ago. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. We're so happy to have you in the group. I appreciate it. Okay. Tell people how they can get a hold of you, because I suspect there are some women listening right now that would like to tap that reserve and need a guide to do it.
Absolutely.
So how can people get a hold of you?
Thank you. And I'm always happy to help. So go to my website. It is lisalish.com. And my last name is spelled L-I-S as in sunshine, Z as in zebra, C as in Charlie, Z as in zebra, lisalish.com. And there you will see opportunities to send me a note, book a discovery session, and you can take my quiz. So, and find out how balanced your energy is by taking the elemental energy quiz, and you'll get a full report with that. So I look forward to hearing from you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. So as a listener, you might know that 2021 for me is the year of the question. So I like to end with a question that you can put in your back pocket and pull out during your sales conversations when appropriate. So here's another question for you today, which is, have you already thought about when you'd like to get started? If you're not asking this question, you may keep people from moving forward with you. So it's a great way. It also implies there's some NLP language in here, because it implies that they're going to get started. It's, have you already thought about when? So it's not if, it's when. So have you already thought about when you'd like to get started? This is a great question for you to have in your back pocket during your discovery calls. It's a great question to have in your circle back calls before people have made a decision. So if you like these questions, if you want a little bit more training on them, come join the Sales Maven Society, because this is where you're going to really learn how to hone asking questions, dealing with your sales conversations, your struggles. I will be there to guide you. The community will be there to support you. It's an amazing opportunity for you to hone your selling skills, boost your confidence. You can join right now by going to salesmavensociety.com. This is a monthly membership. It's $147 a month, but I'm going to give you a trial code that's going to take $100 off your first month. You can come for $47 for your first month and try it out. Dip your toe in the water. See if this is the group for you. So here's the trial code. You're going to put in, when you go to salesmavensociety.com, enter the coupon code 47trial, 47, the number 4, the number 7, and then the word trial, all one word together, 47 trial. That'll take $100 off your first month of membership. Come join us. You get to hang out with Lisa and other amazing members. If we haven't connected yet on social media, let's do that. I am so thrilled when somebody reaches out to me through LinkedIn or Instagram and says they're a listener of the podcast and shares something that they have implemented and used, or tells me a story about a story that I told. I love hearing from you. So thank you so much for listening. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for listening to Sales Maven. Visit us online at yoursalesmaven.com/maven for more resources to boost your confidence and skills.